I was going to show a video, but it's actually 15 minutes long. I went through six of my favorite artifacts throughout the entire portfolio, one for each standard. But I only have 10 minutes, so I'll keep it to 10. So,
Perfect.
all right.
So the recording
So,
recording started, and you can at least give the link and maybe show the first few minutes of the the video for us, and then we will have a chance to watch it on our own later.
sure. Okay, I have I saved it as a video file on my computer, but I can definitely, I have the professional version of Screencast, so I can get that up on YouTube later tonight, and I can send you that later tonight if that's okay.
No problem.
Okay, thank you.
No problem at all. And just introduce yourself and start your presentation.
All right.
What is yours?
Hi. Hi, my name is Matthew Christy, and this is my final course for the NYIT program in instructional technology. I'm going to show a little video first that I actually made highlighting six of my favorite standards. It is a 15-minute video. I'll play about 5 minutes or so, and then I will touch on some of the other aspects within my portfolio as well.
Great.
All right. Can you see that?
Yep. It has a, so you're sharing your screen. Yep.
All right. Good. I'm going to hit play now. Hello, my name is Matt Christy, and I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite artifacts from my NYIT practicum portfolio. The first artifact that I would like to show you is an artifact that it's a project that I had created for one of my past NYIT courses. It's a presentation titled Why Me? That's what the name of the project was for the class. It was Instructional Apps of the Internet is the class that I took and completed this project in. The point of this project was to create a presentation that talks about yourself and that, outlines what you can do as a technology coach to help teachers be able to learn new pieces of technology and software, and for them to be able to implement that technology into their classroom as well, in order to help their students succeed in their classroom through using technology as a tool. So I have a little bit of a cold. This presentation is actually one of my favorite ones. Start of the program when I started about 3 years ago. And what I really liked about it is it really made me focus on myself, what I have learned in this program up to that point, and what I knew that I was confident in doing to help other teachers. So I titled it, Let Me Help You, an instructional technology presentation. I included a picture of RoboCop to highlight the fact that I believe in humor a lot. Humor is very good for helping people for many reasons, health-wise and education. But I put RoboCop up there because I'm here to save the day. I'm here to help you with whatever it is that you need help with regarding technology in your classroom. So I started out with a brief who am I. I talked about where I've gone to school, the program that I was in the process of completing, which is the master's degree in instructional tech from NYIT. This is good because it gives teachers a good background of who I am. I give them a little insights to my educational philosophy of why me. And I think this is another good thing for teachers to see, because they should know what my educational philosophy is, because all educators, all teachers, all coaches, all administrators, everyone should have some sort of educational philosophy on how they view education and what it is that they see as being the best education for our students. We talked about why technology. This was another important facet for me, because I felt like for those teachers who are a little bit older and maybe they don't understand why they need to necessarily start implementing technology into their classroom, this is a really good slide to kind of give them a few ideas of what technology could actually do for them in their classroom. What are the benefits? Once again, touching back on the aspect of letting people know what's technology going to do for their students in their classroom? How is it going to help their students? How is it going to be used as a tool and not necessarily as a crutch for the students within the classroom? Then I talk about what I can do for them. I give them a background of, through my master's degree in the program, what I've learned, what I've gained, what knowledge I have that I can help contribute to them in their classroom. I tell them some of the tools that I would help them use to get started. A lot of the Google Drive, Google tools, as far as I'm concerned, Microsoft Office, sorry, it's a great program, but I think Google is evolving faster. And I think that it's definitely the route to go, especially as we get further into this and I talk about Chromebooks as well. I also talk about some other resources and tools that are accessible through the internet and what I can, show teachers as well and help them out with. Assessments, obviously a huge tool for teachers, all right, and talk about professional development and where they can find me. All right, so that was the first standard I wanted to show you and the first artifact that I'd like to show you relating to standard 1. All right, the second one, it's not this one, it's actually a final assessment that I had created for my students. When I was teaching at Middletown High School, I taught music technology courses, and one of the courses that I taught was an intro to sound recording technology, and then there was a second part of that course, which was advanced sound recording technology. Each course was a half a year long, and the students had to take a course called piano guitar before they could even enter into the sound recording program at Middletown. Once my students went through both of the courses, they had a very good understanding of how to use a DAW, digital audio workstation. It's a fancy name for music recording software, professional music recording software. They learned how to use that program in and out, how to create tracks, how to put effects on tracks, how to master tracks, how to use MIDI keyboards, which attach to the computer, and how they can change the sound and access different sounds within the MIDI sound library. There's so many facets, and that's just the intro course. The advanced course, we actually spent more time on how do microphones work, how do interfaces work, how do mixers work. So my students had a very good understanding of how all of this technology comes together and it works in order for us to be able to compose, create, record, and create CDs of our own music. So at the end of the completion of the program, of the sound recording program, an assessment that actually was inspired by the NYIT class assessments that I created was this one called the SRT Final. So when the students complete the program, they take this form and they answer it. Now it's anonymous. There's no names on it. I don't know which student is filling this out. And I've taken off the feature where there's no emails attached. So I have no clue who's submitting these to me. And I do the anonymous aspect because the students should feel comfortable being able to reflect upon their learning and telling me what it is. What did they like? What didn't they like? What could do better? What could I do better? And once again, this was inspired by the NYIT surveys that I have to complete at the end of each of my courses. I thought, that's a really great tool. It's a really great idea because it gives the teachers actual feedback on their course, their curriculum, their materials, and how everything was put together. So this form was inspired by that, and I just have the students go through it, and they just give me their honest opinions. I have taken these opinions from the students, and I have reformatted the curriculum in the class multiple times, and this has been a really, really good form for my students to use. As you see, it's very long. All right, I'm going to stop it there because, as I said, it's a 15-minute video of me going through my 6 favorite artifacts that I had submitted on my portfolio. So that's that. I can show you some more of my portfolio as well, including my, sorry, I'm uploading it right now. My philosophy, which I had included, which was an excerpt from my first journal entry in one of my other classes. And I think the philosophy is a good thing for me to end on here because there's so many facets of education, of technology, and I think that knowing my philosophy and the outlook that I have is very important to share with everyone. So I'd like to talk about that real quick. All right. So I said my outlook about teaching students is following: we are building the leaders of tomorrow. Therefore, we should be providing students the best possible education possible. When I'm in my classroom teaching, I try to address all of my students' needs. I try to look at my lesson plans with three lenses: auditory, visual, kinesthetic learners, and then the cross between those three types of lenses. From what I've discovered, students tend to enjoy learning when presented with it in multiple formats such as videos, songs, pictures, books, games. When I'm building my lessons and thinking of these three lenses of learning, I try to adapt different formats of learning into the lesson to try and make it more interactive as well as engaging. The classes that I've had the easiest time applying these types of ideas is a general music class I teach called Music in Our Lives. Within this course, students use all different types of technology to enhance their learning and their learning environment. In this class, I have students create their own rap songs, write their own spoken word songs, as well as create and record their own beats to their poems. Students in my class have always told me that they enjoy learning in my classroom because they have fun, they get to be creative and fully express themselves, and they're engaged with their learning and their learning environment. Teaching has always been my passion, and to be able to watch my students grow into responsible adults ready to tackle the world's issues, then you know you succeeded in helping shape well-rounded citizens. That is my overall philosophy. Thank you very much. That's my overall philosophy in education, and that's the actual one of the first journals I believe I wrote for one of the first programs I did here in NYIT. And since then, my learning has progressed, and I'm just so happy that I got to be a part of this program and learn everything that I got to learn. So that is my final. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation, and thank you, Marilyn, for joining us tonight. So you had
Thank you.
This is wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
If you do it again, what would be one thing you could change in the program?
In the NYIT program, or in what I just presented tonight?
In general, because we are always looking for improvements, and now you're an alumni who finished the presentation and all your artifacts. So congratulations.
Thank you.
If you do it again, is there anything you can suggest to the next cohort?
That's a really great question. I wasn't even thinking about that. I really enjoyed when we had more discussion boards. Where, to be honest with you, I really enjoyed the discussion boards where there were more focused questions, where we can really expand on how who we are as educators and future instructional technology coaches, how we can take, what we know and our opinions and our philosophies and report them and have open dialogue between myself and other students. I think the webinars was awesome. Even though I wasn't able to be a part of a lot of them due to my work schedule, but being able to view those recordings and actually see the same type of dialogue occurring, I would continue that and try to just drive the programs with more open dialogue between people, because we learn not only from professors, but we also learn from each other. And those who have more experience or less experience, we have a lot of things to share with one another. And I think that's definitely something that I would tell, the NYIT program, keep focused on this, and any time or opportunity you have to have more dialogue and communication with people it's always an opportunity for learning to occur.
Thank you. Thank you. Really, it is important to utilize your peers. And my daughter, for instance, chose to go to an engineering school this year. And you're right. She chose the school not because they had the best curriculum. She chose because she enjoyed the environment. You also need to find like-minded people in the program. So yes, I agree. And that's what we need to do in our teaching as well, create a safe environment for students to flourish in our own classrooms. If they enjoy the atmosphere, I think that's part of the learning. We need to be able to create that positive environment that everybody's supportive to each other. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's very kind. And unless you have questions, I think we can, Marilyn, we can end the session, but I suspect that you may have some questions either or
due to my schedule and some personal things that I'm taking care of in terms of a job, I had to do a lot of paperwork and running around, but I was able to meet with the principal principals from the two schools that I did some work for my the hours that I had to make up. I was able to get them signed yesterday. I apologize for not submitting it for the signature before I did it, but it was very hard to get a school to work in, being as I'm always moving around as a per diem teacher. So I got that done, and I wanted to find out if I can still get it signed, if that's okay.
Of course, take your time to get them all signed. As I was reading your email, I realized you were asking me to sign it, but I am
Yeah,
not the authority. You and
because I know the process was you have to submit what you're doing, get a signature, and then you go ahead and do it and resubmit it, correct? Is that the way, the
no,
process?
no, you don't. You just need the signature, and you send it to me, and that's all.
Oh, okay. The signature from the person.
Anyone who you work with, or anyone.
Okay. So, okay. I misunderstood.
No
I
problem.
thought it had to be approved first, and then I go ahead.
I mean,
Okay. So I got all of that done. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna work on everything because I was filling out a lot of forms. It's my head is like this right now.
yep.
Really
I hear you.
tight.
Same from my end, I have to tell you, I have so many rubrics to analyze. The task stream, everyone is posting their stuff today, so I apologize for my end how things are slow. Although I'm trying my best to complete them, it's my little cold is not helping today.
Oh, you sound stuffy. I
Well,
hope you feel
I'm gonna get
better.
better. I'm determined to get better. Because I have so much to do before I leave, go back to Azerbaijan again next Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Let me assure you, I am 24/7 at your service. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to call back.
Okay, and the 16th is the cutoff.
16 is the last day to present. However,
Okay.
if there are anything you need to do, we have a weekend, we have Monday and Tuesday. So make sure at least by 20th, you have all your work.
Yeah, I should have it by tomorrow. I'm doing the presentation.
Perfect.
I'm doing that. I stayed up whole night into the morning, and I'm still up because I want to meet at least the 16th,
Perfect.
so I can do other stuff for enjoy the holidays.
Anything that cannot be done, we also have an incomplete grade. Don't
No,
forget.
I don't want that.
But I know nobody wants that, so try your best to complete, and we'll be all on our way to make bigger, better, innovative, and transformative teaching.
Yeah.
I just have two questions real quick
Go ahead.
regarding task stream in the portfolio.
Mhm.
The first one is all of my artifacts, all of my rationales, everything is on TaskStream. Is there a general submit button I can hit to submit everything, or do I have to go into each individual standard and rationale and hit submit on everything?
Hit submit in every individual thing.
Okay.
As I recall, you already start submitting it, so it's probably on the system. I'm just trying to check to see if I can find one.
Okay. The second.
I don't have any submissions from you.
Okay, so all right, that's the thing.
You didn't hit the button to say submit.
Okay, then I'll go back and right after this, and I'll hit submit on everything because it's all there, it's ready to go.
Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been crazy, but I got it all in, so I'm happy. So thank you, I appreciate that.
You finish? When you finish? I have one more question also.
Well, when do I finish?
Well, no, when you finish talking.
Oh, thank you. So my last question is regarding the observation hours. I completed all of the hours, and I had the teachers sign off on it, and also the department chairs for those specific teachers involved in those departments. Is that okay?
It's perfect.
Okay, awesome. Because you started talking about principals, and I was like, I can't get in touch with any principals. So, and I already submitted everything.
I'm a substitute teacher, so I
Yeah.
have to actually go in and act. So I'm not at a fixed location all the time. So I
Okay.
had to look for a school where I worked at, and sometimes the principals, they are very nice to you. Other time, you don't really get to meet them and talk. So I met these two principals, and one of them I helped with the smart board. I set up smart boards. I did their laptops,
Nice.
and they have two computer labs. So I spent actually 2 days. I think I put one day for that, but there were two labs, and some of the laptops, they were outdated because of the Chrome. They no longer make them. Chrome no longer update on them. So those had to be done away with. I think they had them before 2010 or 2011.
Okay.
So I
Yes.
set it up in a way where the ones that she can use, so she has like a brand new classroom, but it's two classroom. And then she had a laptop cart, so the kids did the diagnostic on the iReady, and then they had to do the diagnostic on the laptops.
Oh, wow.
So that was another problem. So I had to go through those, make sure they were all booted up, make sure they're working, update Chrome, do whatever I had to do so the kids can take the test. And then the teachers, I did 2 or 3 of them with the smart boards because they didn't know how to set it up with the document viewer. So I had to set up all because everything was just packed in the cupboard, and they were just teaching off the text instructions when school opened. So I went in there and I set up all their smart boards and stuff for at least 3 teachers, and I walked them through, the volume on the Mac because it's different from if you have a school laptop. You got to go in the output and make sure it's set to where it has to set to in order to get the volume out. Where because most of them use their personal laptops and they have Mac. So I was like, training and teaching them how to go about doing it. But it was exciting.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Nice
Yeah.
job.
And the other school, I actually got the teacher based on a project that I had to do in their ELA class. And I spoke to the principal and she told me, yes, you can make up your hours also in doing it. So I get to go there and I did the same thing there, but I did more with, besides the smart board, I did smart board. She was scared to use the smart board.
Mm-hmm.
So I did smart board and then I met with her in Starbucks twice on the weekend and we went over basic PowerPoint animations. This was some stuff that we did in previous classes that I took. Not in depth, but basic, so she can get. And then I went back into the classroom about 3 times, and I observed her once. And the other 2 times, I had to do read speaker because most of the kids in the class, about 9, the ELL students, no English at all.
Wow.
So I showed her how to copy and paste on the web application. And there are 40 languages that she can switch it to their language, put on the headsets and let them listen and do their work. Yeah. So that worked out pretty well. So the principal of it, so she signed it off for me and give me a nice little note on my paper here.
Nice.
Depending on who works where.
That's pretty
Again,
much it.
coming back to your question, and for those who are listening to the recording, it just happened to be, department chair or a principal or even your peers who attended your sessions.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay.
As long as you get some signature, that would be nice.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you so much for.
Thank you so much, and thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for being my audience tonight. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love the what type of device you use in Mac or Windows for your music.
When I was at Middletown, because I just switched districts, when I was over there, they were using PCs. They had like the higher end Dell PCs over there. But the kids loved them. They did a really nice job with them. For music, in my professional opinion, I would rather use Mac. It's they're a little bit faster, and the programs for it are more user friendly. But these kids, with having technology at their fingertips all the time, they really took to the PC and the software, and they took off. It was awesome. The songs that they were creating and coming up with, I was like, bravo.
So. What software you use for your music? for the Windows operating system?
We were using PreSonus Studio One. It has a similar feel to the Mac higher end version of GarageBand called Logic. It's pretty user friendly for the most part. There's a few things with options and sound drivers you got to go through because that's typical Windows. But other than that, like I said, the kids really took to it, and their projects were very impressive.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm using, before you go, I don't want to hold you up. I'm using a movie editor.
Okay, which one?
And move, just no, let me get there. I can't pronounce it.
Okay.
Movavi.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. And they have like sample songs that you can use like music when you do your digital. That would be nice for them to use because
Yeah.
you can upload their music and they can do their little videos in there and combine the two and stuff. I think it's really cool too.
It's funny you say that. That was actually a direction that I was trying to push the program. I had done one collaboration project between myself as the music technology, my colleague who was the film technology, and my other colleague who was art. And another colleague actually that was English. The four of us teamed up. I forgot about this. What happened was the English teacher had his kids do a whole poetry unit and they wrote poems.
Wow.
He then passed it off to the art teacher, whose kids took it and created pictures based off the poem. Then the poem and the pictures were passed on to my students, who composed music based on the poem and the picture. And then the three of those pieces were passed on to the film students, who created the individual films that showed the picture, the poem, and had the song. It was really cool.
Awesome. So you guys created the digital story.
Yeah, exactly. And it was really cool to see the whole thing come together. It was like you took a step back and you're like, whoa, all the people that really, put their time in it, and how it started as one original idea and, expanded to this project. It was unbelievable. And we actually got to present it at Middletown. They used to do an art celebration where it was a day after school for a certain amount of time. And we had it playing on repeat in one of the computer labs, and people they were loving it. They're like, "This is awesome." I'm like, "Thank you."
The school don't have like a television like in the hallway when you come in that you can.
They do, but at the time, by the time we got it like finally mixed down into the video format, it was literally that day. It was the deadline, so we threw it. But what was great is where the art was all set up. The computer lab flowed perfectly because it had one door on one side and one door on the other. So people were just coming through, and it was like its own room of the gallery. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be nice to put in like just what do you call that as you come in there?
Like a welcoming screen almost.
Yeah, that would be nice for that. And you just put a loop on it so it keeps going.
Exactly, yeah. And it was all student created. That was the best part about it. You're just like, this is unbelievable. The fact that, this is what all these students created together. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I am so proud of you. That's such an innovation, in a sense that's collaborative innovation. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's nice.
Thank you very much.
You did a lot. I have to say, Dr. Yildiz, I learned a lot from the class, although I wasn't on Zoom every time. But what I find, I keep doing, and it's a bad habit. I'm more in love with technology than the curriculum, I have to admit. So I take more time in doing their tech jobs or tech projects than their techs, which I have to do better on that. But in regards to the work itself, I think it was very informative, and I learned a lot from the class and the information that you gave. You gave us a ton of information that we can use. So I appreciate it.
Definitely.
I appreciate you taking the time and using them and learning from them. So
yeah, it's a lot. Would we still have access to your link?
Which link?
The link that you have where you have, it's like a web application where you have like the classroom setup.
Yes, you can always access anything you want. And if you have any time that have a complication or access is broken, you can always email me. I'll make sure we put the right? Sharing privileges. So yes, now I want to tell you we're connected to each other as I
Yes.
started the semester, connected to each other biologically, chemically, as well as atomically, but with the new internet technologies electronically. So hopefully we'll continue to collaborate and learn from each other and stay in touch. And Matt, if you can join some other sessions, we hope to see you. If not, best of luck in everything you do. And time to time, share us a link, showcase some of students' work. That would be lovely. And one other thing is that if you are interested in collaborating or co-teaching or co-presenting, co-writing, please drop me a note. I'm always, enjoy working in collaboration, just like some of the collaborations you mentioned, how it's very helpful. And we only learn from each other. And I think in this technology era, there is endless technologies. But for instance, yesterday I heard from a friend that now they're connecting people who need 3D printing stuff, but it's in real life. Like some people need a leg, some people prosthetic hands. So now the schools are really doing projects, but also linking to the people who really need that project. So they're not just making a 3D image of something funky. They're also doing it so that it will help someone. And so I like this kind of technology turns into action, collaboration, and contributing to the world peace.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's incredible. That's really awesome to hear.
Students are doing it, actually. I saw students made a hand for another student. Yeah, it was really cool, the 3D hand.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's stop the recording, and if you want to stay after, please feel free to stay. I'm just going to stop it so that I can.
No, I'm going to finish my project because Matt is done with his.
Thank you. I appreciate that.